Silence, all stand and remain standing until the conclusion of the reading of the proclamation. Ladies and gentlemen, the proclamation. All persons having any business before this honorable court, please draw nigh. Give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Queen.
Admission of lawyers. Claudia Abdallah.
May it please the court, I move that Claudia Abdallah be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Miriam Ayad.
May it please the court, I move that Miriam Ayad be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Kewa Bai.
May it please the court, I move that Kewa Bai be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Harry David Rafter Bowers.
May it please the court, I move that my son, Harry David Rafter Bowers, be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Yu Yao Cheng.
May it please the court, I move that Yu Yao Cheng be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Yu Yao Cheng be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Belinda Hu Tung Chung.
May it please the court, I move that Belinda Chung be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Belinda Hu Tung Chung be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kishaya Ann Delaney.
May it please the court, I move that Kishaya Ann Delaney be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kishaya Ann Delaney be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kate Louise Ellis.
May it please the court, I move that Kate Louise Ellis be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kate Louise Ellis be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jinky Feng.
May it please the court, I move that Jinky Feng be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jinky Feng be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Mitchell John Frater Baird.
Let Mitchell John Frater Baird be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Juan Carlos Gonzalez Petrosino.
May it please the court, I move that Juan Carlos Gonzalez Petrosino be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Juan Carlos Gonzalez Petrosino be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Karina Jane Goodall.
May it please the court, I move that Karina Jane Goodall be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Karina Jane Goodall be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Zi Yong He.
May it please the court, I move that Ziyong He be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ziyong He be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
David Matthew Accord Horton.
May it please the court, I move that my nephew David Matthew Accord Horton be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let David Matthew Accord Horton be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Oliver Wang.
May it please the court, I move that Oliver Wang be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Oliver Wang be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lalini Loretta Kumar.
May it please the court, I move that my sister, Lalini Loretta Kumar, be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lalini Loretta Kumar be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Dale Jaslyn Kurowski.
May it please the court, I move that Dale Jacqueline Kurowski be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Dale Jacqueline Kurowski be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Elise Sukha Kwan.
May it please the court, I move that Elise Sukha Kwan
Let Elise Sukha Kwan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Leonie Olivia Leclerc.
May it please the court, I move that my partner Leonie Olivia Leclerc be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Leonie Olivia Leclerc be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Eden Sud Gim Lim.
I move, may it please the court, I move that my sister Eden Silgim Lim be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Eden Sri Kim Lim be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Karen Leong.
May it please the court, I move that Karen Leong be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Karen Leong be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Bijuan Lu.
May it please the court, move that my partner Bijuan Lu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Bijuan Lu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Bianca Sheridan McKinlay.
May it please the court, I move that Bianca Sheridan McKinlay be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Bianca Sheridan McKinlay be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Georgina Dorothea Mesa.
May it please the court, I move that Georgina Dorothea Mesa be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Georgina Dorothea Mesa be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Samara Drayton Mobbs.
May it please the court, I move that my sister Samara Drayton Mobbs be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Samara Drayton Mobbs be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Michael Madoka.
May it please the court, I move that Michael Murdocha be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Michael Murdocha be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Vanessa Mussolino.
May it please the court, I move that Vanessa Mussolino be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Vanessa Mussolino be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Roshan Pervez.
May it please the court, I move that Roshan Pervez be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Roshan Pervez be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Connor Jack Pontarolo.
May it please the court, I move that Connor Jack Pontarolo be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Connor Jack Pontarolo be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sarita Preeti Sanat.
May it please the court, I move that Sarita Pritisanan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sarita Pritisanet be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Heather Shelley Pym.
May it please the court, and move that Heather Shelley Pym be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Heather Shelley Pym be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sebgatullah Kwazi Zada.
May it please the court, I move that Sebgatullah Kazi Zada be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sebgatullah Kwazizada be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Michelle Raghab Saad Raghab.
May it please the court, I move that Michelle Ragheb Saad Ragheb be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Michelle Ragheb Saad Ragheb be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Mahdi Rahimzada.
May it please the court, I move that my partner Mahdi Rahimzada be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Mahdi Ramazada be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Teresa Repis.
May it please the court, I move that Teresa Rapice be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Teresa Repeach be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Rick Shaha.
May it please the court, I move that Rick Shaha be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Rick Shaha be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Chrislyn Cecilia Sinclair.
At please the court, I move that Chrislyn Cecilia Sinclair be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Let Chrislyn Cecilia Sinclair be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Shu Wen Song.
May it please the court, I move that Shuwen Song be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Chuwen Song be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Joanna Ellen Spratt.
May it please the court, I move that Joanna Ellen Spratt be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Joanna Ellen Spratt be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Caitlin Sarah Steep.
May it please the court, I move that Caitlin Sarah Steep be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Caitlin Sarah Steep be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Yutong Sun.
May it please the court, I move that Yutong's son be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Yutong's son be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Mia Crystal Turnbull Walsh.
May it please the court, I move that my daughter Mia Turnbull Walsh be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Mia Crystal Turnbull Walsh be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Chloe Glenda Underwood.
May it please the court, I move that Chloe Glenda Underwood be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Chloe Glenda Underwood be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Wenjing Yu.
May it please the court, I move that Wenjing Yu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Wenjing Yu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lu Yao Zhao.
Let Lu Yao Zhu be admitted as a lawyer of this court. It will now be necessary for those applicants whose admission has just been moved to stand and remain standing as directed by the officiator for the purpose of swearing an oath or making a declaration.
All 4 rows to my right, please stand. Claudia Abdallah, Miriam Ayad, Kewa Bai, Harry David Rafter Bowers, Yu Yao Cheng, Belinda Hu Tung Chung, Isaiah Ann Delaney, Kate Louise Ellis, Dinky Feng, Mitchell John Frater Baird, Juan Carlos Gonzalez Petrosino, Karina Jane Goodall, Zi Yong He, David Matthew A. Horton, Oliver Wang, Lalini Loretta Kumar, Dale Jocelyn Korofsky, Elise Sukhar Kwan, Leonie Olivia Leclerc, Eden Su Gim Lim, Karen Leong, Bijwan Lu, Bianca Sheridan McKinlay, Georgina Dorothy Messer, Samara Drayton Mobbs, Michael Madoka, Vanessa Mussolino, Roshan Pervez, Connor Jack Pontarolo, Sarita Pritisanat, Heather Shelley Pim, Sebgatullah Kwazi Zara, Michelle Raghab Raghab, Mahdi Rahimzada, Teresa Rapis. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"? Thank you. Please sit down. And the 2 rows to my right, could you please stand up? Rick Shaha, Chrislyn Cecilia Sinclair, Zhu Wen Song, Joanna Ellen Spratt, Caitlin Sarah Steep, Yutong Sun, Mia Crystal Turnbull Walsh, Chloe Glenda Underwood, Wenjing Yu, Lu Yao Zhu. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Please say, "So help me God," or "I do." Please sit down.
Well, may I warmly welcome you all to the Supreme Court of New South Wales. Present with me on the bench today to my right is Justice Harrison, and to my left, Justice Lonergan, who are both judges of the Common Law Division of the court. And together we constitute the court that has, in the exercise of its jurisdiction, admitted you, the newly admitted lawyers, to practice today. We have done so sitting in the Banco court, which sits on the land for which the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation have cared and been custodians for thousands of years. And the court pays its respects to the Gadigal elders, past, present and emerging, and extends those respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. In the spirit of the Uluru Statement from the Heart, which is an eloquent, accurate and powerful statement which looks forward to a fuller expression of Australian nationhood with great dignity, we acknowledge the regrettable reality that this nation's laws and legal systems have, so often in the past, delivered the opposite of justice to First Nations peoples. To all of the newly admitted lawyers today, welcome to the legal profession. Today is one for celebration. You've all worked extremely hard to get here, countless late nights, obscure problems, questions, reading pages of textbooks or staring at screens which contain them, and more cases than you can possibly hope to remember. And for most of you, your journey has involved 2 extraordinarily challenging final years affected by the pandemic, and in which you've been deprived of many of the opportunities for the forging of close bonds with your peers that those 2 final years usually present. You have faced and come through an additional adversity unprecedented in our lifetimes. That makes your achievement all the more impressive, and the resilience you have no doubt developed will stand you well in the future. It is in a spirit of optimism that I express my sincere hope that you enter the profession at a time when our society is exiting the dreadful impact of the pandemic. Now, in being admitted as a lawyer of this court, you join a profession with ancient origins. The custom of advocates swearing an oath on admission to practice dates back to the 12th century, and this court first admitted lawyers in 1824. By 1830, the names of the lawyers were entered onto the rolls in this state, as you will do immediately after this ceremony. You will thus become part of a tradition which has existed in this place for almost 200 years. I also welcome today those present in court or watching on the live stream who have supported you during your years of study. For many of you, no doubt, their support has been invaluable, and they may well have been on the receiving end of amateur but developing attempts at cross-examination or advocacy. I encourage you to thank your supporters, friends and family today, and depending on how good an advocate you are or have become, you might even convince them to shout you a late lunch or dinner to mark the occasion. Or you could magnanimously take them out. The law touches every part of our society, and it can and will lead you all in many different directions and career paths. But in whatever direction you head, you must always remember the oath or affirmation you have just made is a serious one and one which deserves solemn regard. Whether you work in private practice, at the bar, in a community legal centre, a Crown Law office, a government department or agency, or in an entirely different field, you should be known for your honesty, your integrity, and your commitment to justice. And you must strive at all times to uphold these cardinal values. Admission as a member of the legal profession in this state is a privilege. It is not a right. And it's in acknowledgement of the weighty responsibility that you have undertaken that we observe today's unique formalities, including the fact that your admission has been moved by someone who is already a member of the profession, and that you have made a formal oath or affirmation in the presence of your family and peers. They are all witnesses to the promises and undertakings you have made today. As to formality, you will see from the portraits on the walls around this court that the judges on the bench are wearing the same robes, in some cases literally, as have been worn by our predecessors. Symbolically, that highlights the continuity of the rule of law in New South Wales. In a world in which there is much global uncertainty and insecurity, the rule of law is more important than ever, and not simply a glib phrase of some theoretical import. It is the opposite of the arbitrary abuse of power and the rule of autocratic dictators and populists. There is nothing theoretical about those threats. Although we mark the occasion with formality and tradition, not everything in the legal profession remains unchanging. COVID has meant a rapid shift to increased use of virtual courtroom setups and technology to ensure access to justice continued throughout the pandemic. Challenges have arisen in terms of open justice, effective communication, and fairness to participants. But for all the challenges we faced, new opportunities presented themselves, including greater workplace flexibility, which is especially important for lawyers with family responsibilities. Better use of technology also has profound implications for how our legal system interacts with and may become more accessible to many people, including those in rural or remote areas, those with disabilities, medical conditions, or carer responsibilities which preclude their ability to attend court. Although the increased use of technology offers a number of advantages, the practice of the law has human nature and human interaction at its core. An essential part of being a good lawyer is understanding people, how others react to different situations, perform under pressure, and deal with each other. As I said in my recent swearing-in speech as Chief Justice, whilst the remote practice of the law may be possible, it is far from desirable. There are, of course, many other changes that deserve attention in addition to those brought about by the pandemic. When we think of the diversity of the legal profession, we encounter a duality that on the one hand we have come very far and that on the other hand much still needs to be done. For example, although women were originally not even permitted to practice law in this state, since 2018, women have made up more than half of all the solicitors with a practicing certificate in New South Wales and currently make up almost 2/3 of solicitors under the age of 30. Women also occupy many of the most senior positions in the law, including, of course, the Chief Justice of Australia, the Commonwealth Attorney General, the President of the New South Wales Court of Appeal, who was herself formerly the Chief Judge in Equity, and her predecessor but one was Her Excellency the Honourable Margaret Beazley, ACQC, now the Governor of the state. There should not only be gender diversity, but strong representation of lawyers from many different backgrounds who comprise our cosmopolitan community. Diverse representation amongst solicitors, advocates, and judges assists in ensuring that all people who become involved in our justice system can and feel that they can be properly heard and fairly engaged with by a system reflective of our broader community. The admission ceremonies on which I have sat since becoming a judge more than 3 years ago, including this ceremony, highlight that there is a far greater diversity of background amongst junior lawyers than when I commenced practice. That is a very good thing. You, the newly admitted lawyers, are in a unique position as you enter the profession at a time when more than ever your words and actions are having an impact for good. You are being heard and taken seriously when you agitate to correct injustices, whether be speaking out about unfair laws, systematic failings affecting our society's most vulnerable or unsustainable working cultures, speaking out about sexual harassment or bullying. You should speak up for the things that matter and in which you believe. That has been the tradition of lawyers in this state and throughout the common law world. You are the future of the profession. I also urge you all to engage with your communities outside the law. Your training as a lawyer in systematic thought, the importance of matters of principle and fundamental fairness, including due process and natural justice, equip you all very well for service beyond day-to-day practice. You will also derive great satisfaction from such extra curricular engagement. Now, turning from opportunities to obligations and a little bit of friendly advice. As a lawyer, you will often need to make difficult ethical decisions or decisions which involve matters requiring careful and considered judgment. You must use the tools you've developed to think critically and not compromise on your fundamental duties to the court and the administration of justice. One mistake you must not make is to give your clients the advice you think they want to hear. That will not be good advice. Justice Gageler, before he was a High Court judge, once said, and I quote, "You must be prepared to give the same answer to the same question for the same reasons, no matter who asks the question or for what purpose or in what context the asking may occur." Unquote. That is, as you might expect from such a great judge, very good advice indeed. Being a lawyer means that you are an advisor, a problem solver, a mediator, and an advocate. As you go about your day-to-day work, remember that you're not merely dealing with the law in a vacuum or as an abstract concept, but law as it applies to people's lives. An individual in need of your services as a lawyer is in most cases an individual facing some kind of great personal challenge affecting his or her liberty, property, personal well-being or health or financial position. For these reasons, you must always strive to deliver legal services sensitively, competently and fearlessly, but always with courtesy and integrity. And in this context, I wish to emphasise the importance of civility. Aspects of the law, especially if you are involved in the litigation side of practice, are confrontational. The practice of the law can be stressful and demanding enough without personal animus and antagonism between practitioners adding to the load. It is essential that you maintain your detachment, balance, and good humour, remembering at all times that you are members of a profession and not a business. And remember that the best advocates can and do make their point simply and succinctly. Often, less is more. Some of the most experienced lawyers and judges, including myself, could use that reminder from time to time. For a non-lawyer, law is often incomprehensible. One of your roles as a young lawyer will be to make the law accessible to others, sometimes by deciphering legal complexities, other times by deciphering poor legal drafting, sometimes both. Strive to be clear and concise at all times in both your writing and your speaking. I wish to also say a few words briefly about the concept of failure. There will inevitably be, in a cohort of young, enthusiastic lawyers, quite a few overachievers and perfectionists. I'm sure there are in the room today. That's not a bad thing. But even so, however meticulous you are, at various points of your career, you will make mistakes, some minor and some more serious. We all make mistakes from time to time, especially when we are starting something new. What is important is that you try not to make the same mistake twice. When you do make mistakes, that your commitment to honesty, integrity, and the administration of justice means that you must take responsibility, correct what you can, and learn from any errors. Finally, your physical and mental health are both extremely important. There may, and I dare say will be times when you feel overwhelmed, burnt out, or distressed. Legal practice can be all-consuming and physically and mentally taxing. That tends to be because lawyers take their clients' cases very seriously and want to achieve the best result for them. That is honourable and a key part of our profession. But as I say, it can be and is an all-consuming and demanding profession. So you must work hard consciously to keep your balance and keep your eye out to ensure that your colleagues do as well. If you do get overwhelmed by it all, as frankly we all have from time to time, try to take a step back and recapture some perspective, or suggest gently to your colleagues that they do so if you think they should. In this context, also remember that the law is a highly collegiate profession, and in times of difficulty, the support of your and friendship of your peers will prove invaluable. And both the Law Society and the Bar Association, the two major professional associations, are fully attuned to the potential stresses of daily practice and are there to provide institutional support. Now, can I say this to you all in closing? The law is a wonderful profession. It is stimulating, challenging, and satisfying, and it is populated by intelligent, committed, and dynamic people such as yourselves. You should be proud to be a lawyer and of your achievements to date, and you should remain proud to be a lawyer. Ours is a very important profession, and a legal career is one that can take you in many different directions, all of which are interesting and rewarding. So, on this significant day for you all and for your friends and family, hold your heads high and the very best of luck on the exciting journey that lies ahead. On behalf of Justice Harrison, Justice Lonergan, and myself, and all of our colleagues on the Supreme Court, I once again congratulate you on your admission and welcome you to the legal profession. The court will now adjourn.
All stand. This honourable court is now adjourned. God save the Queen.